Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. And today on my radar, I'm going to be answering a question asked by one of you in the comments. Yep, I'm reading the comments. I'm thumbs up, and I'm loving the comments. I'm actually streaming this video live on Twitch, so you can join me on Twitch every night at 6 p.m. for behind the scenes. You get to see the videos before everybody else sees the videos and hang out and chat, and it's like the old days of live.pirillo.com. So Dan McLaughlin asked this question: would love to hear your thoughts on the breaking of each ecosystem. Speaking about iOS and Android. Been using mostly Apple for years and am intrigued by what Samsung and Google are doing with hardware options. My wife will always have her iPhone, and I want to find a way to play nice with what our needs are. So I asked him to clarify, and he followed up. For example, if I move to an Android, I lose things like iMessage, shared notes, and AirDrop. How can I potentially create workarounds with as much harmony as possible? Well, here's the problem, Dan. As everybody knows, the only way you can ever send a text message to another person on this planet or in the known universe is through iMessage. So unfortunately, you're kind of stuck with iMessage. It's the only way to communicate with somebody else. It's the only way to send voice memos. It's the only way to instant message photos. It's the only way to send text. So you're stuck with iMessage there. In terms of shared notes, there's another problem. The only way to document something, let's say on the internet, is to use the Notes app that only exists on iOS. That's it. Like, there's no way you can take notes with any other application. Like, unfortunately, Apple's got the market cornered on that. And then AirDrop. So you're talking about transferring files between two devices. Again, Apple's got that locked up, years ago. I remember in the beginnings of the internet, we wished for an easy way. A file transfer protocol would have been perfect back in the day to transfer files back and forth. And even, nowadays, it would be even easier. Like if we had web services that we could use to more easily transfer files back and forth and manage those files back and forth. And, what if, oh, just imagine this with me. What if there was a cloud, right? And in the cloud, right? I'm making this up as I go along, right? You could put a file in the cloud and someone else could grab that file from the cloud. What if? That would be great. But unfortunately, you're right. The only way to transfer a file from one person to another person is using AirDrop. Apple's got the market cornered on all these things. You can't escape it. They've created a walled garden for all of these particular features, and the list goes on and on. There are certain things that you can only do on iOS that you can't do on Android. Yeah, like take pictures. You can't do that. You can only use an Apple device for that. I know, a lot of people. So I know you like the hardware that you say Google and Samsung are working on, but you got to remember the shortcomings. You will no longer be able to talk to anybody or do anything if you don't use the same devices they do. Like, it's impossible. There's no middle ground. That's the problem. Email's the same way, right? If you're using an iOS device and you want to email someone who's got an Android device, you can't. What is this world coming to? So hopefully, /S, you're catching my sarcasm because I'm being a little sarcastic. It's not as hard as you think. There are countless ways of doing what you're trying to do. And honestly, once you recognize that there are potentially more powerful, more flexible services that may not exist within Apple's world, your view starts to open up a bit more. And honestly, it's fine. If someone else wants to stick with their device, I'm not trying to take away from that at all. At all. And I could make the same argument if the tables were turned, right? If you were, looking at Apple and you've been playing with Android, I'd say the same things. Because you got to recognize that someone's choice is not yours. Don't be tethered to their choice. Okay, can I go back to the sarcastic thing? Video chatting, FaceTime, only exist. That's the only way to video chat with someone. You can't do it any other way. And even worse, this year Apple said, once again, we are not going to allow FaceTime to exist on anything but an Apple platform. For example, if you wanted to make a FaceTime call with someone who's using an Android operating system or any other operating system on the planet like Windows, you can't do it. Apple said that again. So the only way to video chat is through FaceTime. the list goes on and on and on. So don't tether yourself to somebody else's choice if you have any say in the matter. Don't make them feel bad for their choice. I'm sure there'll be some, or should be, friendly rivalry that could come about. But if you're already looking longingly at something that is going to improve your satisfaction, then you need to continue down that path. So I'm here to tell you that there are alternatives to any one of the services you can tell me. Okay, maybe not every single one of them. I know share play is going to be the big thing, right? Because iOS is now going to have the ability for you to share things with friends and family and them to share them with you, because that's what you need. Your friends and family's crap on your own phone. I know you love that. Or, Apple's basically turning into its own Facebook, and we all know that Facebook is filled with awesome things shared by friends and family, and that's now going to be on your phone. So there are some features that cannot be replicated. But the more you abstract a particular need, the better you're going to be able to find that balance. And honestly, I'm not going to hard sell Google at all, but most of those things can be handled by Google. And if not Google, then, some other entity that gives you the same features and is readily cross-platform. Cross-platform exists for a reason. And it shouldn't matter that you're using one service and somebody else is using another service. If you are accomplishing a goal or a task, is it going to be as convenient? I don't know. Is it inconvenient to send a text message in an app that's not iMessage? I don't know. I guess I've never had a problem with it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm like, woo, Chris, what are you talking about? Cross-platform? What are you thinking? You can't do that. Yeah, you can. Or let me put it this way. We have. It works. And mind you, just in the live Twitch stream before staging this particular recording, someone had asked what I use as a browser, and I said, well, it depends. On iPad OS and iOS, I use Safari. On my Mac, I use Chrome. On my Android device, I use Brave. On Windows, I use Edge. So, and it's not like, that's utopia. It isn't. It's just that, well, on Windows, Edge is baked in, and on iOS, Safari's baked in, and on Mac OS, Chrome now runs better than Safari. There are all these, Brave on I can go on and on about, why even me, as one person, has to use different things because they fit better in different circumstances. Modality, right? And modularity. And so I do my best for even myself to remain as neutral as I possibly can. So if one person, me, this is my example, one person can be neutral and exist cross devices, then I believe it is incredibly possible for it to happen beyond one person. So I've done it. I'm walking the walk. I'm talking the talk. Don't find yourself strapped in because you're afraid of trying something to see how well it works. But I will warn you, and I've said this going back years, do not treat one platform like it's another. Don't try to turn one thing into the thing that you're getting away from. Don't. Because you will ultimately find failure. That thing exists the way it exists for a reason, and vice versa. So when you start to recognize that there are different benefits, and those benefits may fit you better, the world is your oyster. Unless you're like me, I'm vegan, so the world's not exactly my oyster. It's more like, a Swedish fish. Those are vegan. Tasty. Not healthy for you. Anyway, I hope you understand that this is absolutely possible for you to do. And there are 1,001 suggestions that I can make for potential services, but you got to find your own. And maybe that stepping stone is using Google services, which, by the way, are cross-platform. And they exist everywhere. Different kind of company, different type of business plan, different type of model altogether, but it's still something that you could start to do and discover that, hey, this isn't as difficult as we thought it was. Or let me put it to you this way, it's only going to be as difficult as you might make it be. Good luck, have fun with it, but I'm sitting here telling you it's absolutely possible. Now you got to keep me posted. Is this going to be a relationship ender? I really don't know.